Okay, 11.5, dividing polynomials. So to divide a polynomial by a monomial, we're just going to divide each term by the monomial, right? And you can kind of see that. So taking this divided by this, you can write it as a fraction and then write it as, divide each term by 3x and then just go through and cancel it until you're left with the quotient. So let's do that. For the first one, we're going to take 8x cubed divided by 2x squared plus 4x squared divided by 2x squared minus 12x divided by 2x squared. So we just divide. So 8 divided by 2, right? It's going to become 4. And then here, when you have the bases the same, you can subtract the exponents. So 3 minus 2 is 1. These two go away, leave 1 in the numerator. So we have 4x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And x squared divided by x squared. So we get plus 2. And then here, 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then there's no x's to cancel, so, the x squared stays in the denominator. So we'll have minus 6 over x squared. And that becomes our quotient. Okay, so in this next section, to try it, we're basically taking all three terms, dividing by 3m squared. Okay, so 3m cubed divided by 3m squared, you're left with 1m. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then these two will cancel. So we'll get 2. And then plus, you'll have this m will cancel with one of these m's, right? But there's nothing to cancel the 3. So 1 over 3m. Okay, why don't you go ahead and pause the video and work out this one on your own. Okay, so working out this one, you would have gotten 2t cubed plus 4t minus 1 plus 1 over 2t, just so you can check your work before moving on. All right, now we need to do a long division refresher with this algorithm, right? We have to know the parts of a division sign. I'm saying the word division and writing the word division. That's not what I wanted to do. The first number is your dividend. This number is your divisor. Okay, if you're writing it as long division, the divisor is on the outside. Your dividend goes under this little house or whatever you used to call it when you were back in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade when you were doing this. The answer you get is a quotient. Okay, so we could put the 737 under the division bar, the 21 on the outside, and we followed this algorithm. We basically try, 21 into 7, we can't do that, so we have to take the next place value and take 21 into 73. And trial and error, use a calculator, whatever you want to do. Then you have to come back and check it, and you go 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 2 is 6. Then we subtract. Is this ringing bells? You guys remember doing this? Okay, 21 into 10, can't do it, so we got to bring down the next number and take 21 into 107. Goes in about 5 times. 5 times 1 and 5 times 2, and we're going to subtract. Now we could do decimal division, but we're not going to. Remember when we had a remainder? Back, you used to be able to say like remainder 2, but you also used to make your remainder as a mixed number, and you would write your remainder as 2 over 21. So we have this mixed number, which is like 35 plus this 2 over 21. So ideally, you had a quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. That's how we could correctly write what our remainder was, okay? We're going to be using this to work with polynomials. We're going to take a polynomial divided by a binomial right here. So this is your dividend, goes underneath. This is your divisor. You're going to start by taking the first term, right, in the divisor and dividing it into the first term of the trinomial. So m squared divided by m, right here. So it's going to show you on the side. The result is this m right here. You're going to put that m above the like term. Then you're going to take that m and multiply it. That's what we did last, the last time we took it and divided it by each part. So m times 1 is m, and m times m is m squared. And then you're going to get to this part, and you're going to subtract. So that means you're subtracting the m squared, and then 4m minus m, you get 3m, bring down your 3. Okay, so we did that here. Now we're going to take, divide the first term of 3m by the first term of the divisor. Okay. All right, that just means we're working down here, right? This is the next place where we're working right there. So we're kind of looking at, this. So we're saying how many times does m go into 3m? Right there. 3m divided by m is 3. So we're going to put that right there above the like term, and then take 3 times 1 to get 3, right? This 3 times m plus 1, and 3 times m to get 3n, m, and we're subtracting. Basically, it means we have to subtract 3m and we have to subtract 3. Both of them are going to cancel out. We have a remainder of 0. So this becomes our quotient, and we're done, right? So this is our quotient. I'm pretty sure the ones that we get are going to have the remainder. All right, so let's get it set up. We know that we have to take 2y squared plus 3y minus 40, and we're going to divide that by this y plus 5. So we're going to take y into 2y squared. So over to the side is where I like to do that. I like to write it like this, like 2y squared divided by y, okay? So it's going to go in 2y because this y will cancel one of those y's. I'm left with 2y. The like term is 3y, so I will put my 2y above 3y. Then 2y times my y plus 5. Okay? All right, so I'm taking 2y times y and 2y times 5. So 2y times 5 is going to give me 10y, and 2y times y is this 2y squared, right? That was a positive 10y. And I'm subtracting this whole thing. What does that do? That makes this negative and this negative. So 2y squared minus 2y squared. And then we have 3 plus a negative 10y squared. So we're going to have a negative 3. I'm sorry, that wasn't squared. 3y minus 10y is negative 3y. We're going to bring down this negative 40 or minus 40. Okay, we're still going to take this y into a negative 3y. So negative 3y divided by y. So that's going to be negative 3. Okay, so we'll put that negative 3 above the constant right here. Then we're going to take our negative 3 times our divisor, right? So negative 3 times y is going to be negative 3y. Negative 3 times 5 is going to be negative 15. But we have to subtract this whole amount. Remember, that's the algorithm that we use. So this becomes a positive and this becomes a positive. It's like distributing a negative number. So negative 3y plus 3y cancels out. Negative 40 plus, okay, so we want to set this up. Here we go. We're going to take 2y squared plus 3y minus 40 divided by y plus 5. So we'll put our 2y squared plus 3y minus 40 underneath the division bar. Our y plus 5 goes outside. So we're going to take the first term, y, into the first term here, 2y squared. So off to the side, I'll write it as 2y squared divided by y. Okay, so when we do that, right, this will cancel, one of these will cancel one of the y's, and I'm left with 2y, and I need to put that above my trinomial above the like term. So it's a positive 2y goes above the 3y. Now I'm taking this 2y times each piece, right? It's like 2y times y plus 5. And for whatever reason, I like to do it this way off to the side, and then I kind of like do it going forward. So 2y times y, and I put that under the like term, which would be 2y squared. 2y times 5 is going to be a positive 10y. Now, according to the algorithm of long division, this gets subtracted from the original dividend. So that it's like distributing a -1. So this is really like a -2y and a -10y. Okay, so 2y squared minus 2y squared cancels. 3 plus 3y plus a -10y is a -7y. And then we bring down this minus 40. Now we're taking y into -7y. So -7y divided by the divisor. Oop, that's a y. Sorry. Right here. So we know that the y's are going to cancel and we're left with -7. So we get -7. So now we're going to take -7 times our y plus 5. So -7 times y gives us -7y. -7 times 5 is -35. But we are subtracting according to the algorithm. So that means that this will become positive and this will become positive. Now we're going to take that sum. -40 plus 35 is going to become a -5. This -7y plus 7y cancels. This becomes our remainder. And remember how we write our remainder over our divisor? So it's like plus -5 over y plus 5, or you can see it as minus 5 over y plus 5. Okay, and this is our quotient, this whole thing. You could check your work by taking this times the y plus 5 and, distributing that to get your original trinomial. So let's try this again. So let's take and set it up. So we have our divisor on the outside, b, it's not b plus 1. I need to move this over. B plus 1 and 2b squared minus b minus 3. Okay, so how many times does b go into 2b squared? Right? 1 will cancel with that, so we'll get the answer of 2b. And we'll put that over the like term, and it's a positive 2b. Then we're taking 2b times the b plus 1. So 2b times b is 2b squared. 2b times 1 is 2b. Right? And then this is the section that we're subtracting. So it's going to become a -2b squared and a -2b. So we have 2b squared minus 2b squared cancels. A -b plus a -2b is a -3b. And then we bring down this -3. Okay. Now we're taking b into -3b. So -3b divided by b, right, equals -3. Put that -3 above the constant. Now we're taking -3 times b plus 1. So -3, you can do it this way too. -3 times 1 is a -3, and -3 times b is a -3b. And then we're subtracting that, so it becomes plus plus. And really what happens is this cancels, and we have a 0 remainder. So our quotient then becomes 2b minus 3, 2b minus 3. Okay, why don't you go ahead and pause the video and do this last one. Work this out and try using the division skills we just talked about. Hopefully you got 3m minus 4 minus 3 over the 2m plus 1 as a remainder. Hopefully you got that to work out, and we can work on it if you didn't. All right, So the only other thing we have to understand is if it's in standard form, which our dividend usually is in standard form, and there is a power missing, we need to add a term of that power with a zero coefficient like a placeholder. For example, remember we talk about standard form descending order of the variable? We have cubed going straight to b to the first power. We're missing b squared. So we want to rewrite this as b cubed plus 0b squared plus 5b minus 3. So you just add it in so that you go all the way, 3, 2, 1, all the way down. Okay, so now there's 4 terms here that we're dividing by. So this becomes our 4b cubed plus 0b squared plus 5b minus 3. It's our dividend, and we have 2b minus 1. Having a binomial like this is still the same. We're still taking that first term into the first term of the polynomial. So we have 4b cubed divided by 2b. Okay, so it's going to go in 2, and then one of these is leaving, so it becomes 2. So we'll have 2b squared. And again, we're going to put that over the like term, so it's going to go over the 0b. So a positive 2b squared. Now we're taking our 2b squared times our 2b minus 1. So we have, so 2b squared times 2b would be 4b cubed, and then 2b squared times negative 1 is going to be minus 2b squared. But remember, we are subtracting this whole thing. So this becomes subtraction, and then this will become addition. So when we combine these, we'll get a positive 2b squared. And then we want to, in this case, just bring down the very next term, which is plus 5b. Okay. So then we're going to take our 2b into 2b squared. So 2b squared divided by 2b. The 2's will cancel, and one of the b's will cancel, so we're left with b. That's going to go above, so it's a positive b. Positive b. And then we're going to take b times our 2b minus 1. So b times 2b is going to become 2b squared. B times a negative 1 is a negative b. And then we're going to subtract. Okay, so this becomes subtraction and this becomes addition. So this cancels out and we're left with 6b. And then we bring down this minus 3. All right, so now we're going to take 6b divided by 2b, because we're taking that first term into that first part. And this is going to become 3, right? Because the b's will cancel. All right, so we'll put that 3, it's a positive 3, up here. So then we're going to take, running out of room here, 3 times 2b minus 1. So 3 times 2b is 6b. 3 times a negative 1 is a negative 3. And again, we are going to subtract. So that's going to make a negative 6b and a positive. So we get another one with a 0 exponent, or I'm sorry, 0 remainder. Okay, but remember, when you get a remainder, if you get a number that is here, all you do is write that remainder over your divisor. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try this last one, in which case you should get c squared minus 3c plus 5 minus 3 all over the c plus 3. And that has been division with polynomials, and we will be practicing these. So come to class with questions.